quickly ready, and then we should be good to go. I do quite like some of the stuff we got this time around. I think you guys will enjoy the selection this time around. It's not too bad. That being said, like, a lot of my opinion comes from like a spectator perspective per se, so from a player perspective it might be a bit different.
Alright, sorry about that, guys. Let's get this show on the road.
Alright, I think we're good.
Yeah, and our first pick here is going to be, and I apologize early for all the weird pronouncings, Alan Moore. This is Demons, and it is going to be an SV type map. Now, this is probably going to be one of the easiest maps in the pool, but there is one thing we have to note. This is HP 10, guys. HP 10. Not going to say the next part, but HP 10. Just, it's crazy.
I feel like that part alone is probably going to steer people away.
Yeah. Now, the intro to this thing, it's a simple build-up with some SVs. You're going to see constant 168, 1/2 on the 5th column. And players really shouldn't mess up here because it's pretty easy. Around the 40% mark, you'll start seeing slowdowns. It gets really hard to time as well.
It gets a little crazy, yeah.
Alright, yeah. Okay. A little bit of a thing there. Anyways, some chords are actually graces. It means that the notes are offset by a tiny amount as well, so it should be pretty easy for most of the map. The overall BPM of the map is 168, and the length of it is only 2 minutes and 2 seconds, so it's a short but sweet one, guys.
Again, from a spectator perspective, this looks like fun to watch. From a player's perspective, I'm not so sure. Like, some of these SVs do look quite brutal, and I could definitely see players struggling with a lot of them.
Yeah.
That being said, we will definitely have to see how that turns out next week.
It's got a heavy beat to it too. It's pretty interesting song. Moving on to our next one now, we should be going under Re-End of the Dream.
I hear it's a pretty dreamy map.
Yeah, this is a speed consistency type pick. It's a pretty easy intro. The map will get more and more intense, and stamina will get pretty waned out. Patterns are generally not comfortable. This one's not going to be really easy on the hands. About 25% into the map, first chorus will kick in there. Anchors are prominent, and it usually will cause a massive combo break rush, as there's little room to recover. At your 45% mark for this, the second chorus, almost 3 times as long though. There are some breaks in between, and the density is similar to the first chorus, just that the stamina contributes to difficulty much more than the actual speed. And around the 65% mark of the map, which is the third chorus, you'll find a similar length to the second one, and it will introduce some 1/6 and some more 1/8 as well. And 80% in, that's where crap gets really real. And brackets on 5, 6, and 7 columns get ridiculous. There's going to be a lot more polyrhythms, and even though it's short, it's very hard. So we'll really see a lot of drops there. The BPM is going to be 212 on this one, with a length of 2 minutes and 19 seconds.
actually wonder about this one. It looks doable, but I'm not sure in general about this. I mean, it looks like a lot of tricky parts in the map that could definitely throw people off.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if some people might want to stay clear of this one. I mean, there's probably worse in the map for to play, but we'll definitely have to see what else we've got on here.
All right, and our next one is going to be Kaku Michio Osama Densenbyo. Now this is a long note variation map. So we thought you liked long notes, so long notes are going to be in this, and it's going to have a pretty cool intro with 3 and 5 column trills, simple chord streaming at the intro, and you know, there's going to be simple chord streaming 1/4 everywhere, 24% in. You're going to see 1/8 long notes under 200 BPM, and that's going to mean trouble. Jump SVs are going to be at the end of this too, and long notes are going to be a doozy with this one. We're going to see a lot of really crazy stuff. About halfway into the map, around 48%, you'll see long notes with short long notes, along with chord streaming that builds up even harder, and it's going to be really noticeable when you see it played. And at the 53% mark, you're going to see a little bit of the same that was at the 24%. So 1/8 long notes under 200 BPMs. Ouch.
Someone in chat did notice. I'm not sure if you have yet.
Say what now?
Someone in chat noticed. I don't know if you have yet.
What did I?
We're doing this today.
This today. Okay. All right.
The warm up was like Xenocore. Have we seen this?
Well, there's a couple. I mean, Xenocore is a difficulty name that he uses. Scenario uses quite a bit, in all honesty. Now the length on this one's 3 minutes 16 seconds, and the BPM's at 200.
But yeah, I think this is like one of the first times we've seen one of the like warm-ups actually appear in the next round as the map pool. It's definitely not something we see very often.
Yeah. It was pretty interesting, actually. It makes a whole lot more sense now. But we had not seen it beforehand.
I feel like this one might get picked a bit.
Oh, for sure.
I think we'll definitely get picked up more than the first two. I mean, in terms of long notes go, I think we've seen worse. I mean, this is still pretty brutal stuff, but
Yeah, around the 85% mark, it just gets full-blown heavy, and you want to cry to your mommy. At least I would want to cry to my mommy. Right, and we'll be getting on to our next one here, which is going to be Massimo Attack, and this is a Blocko map. Yeah, and this one is a raw speed map, guys. HP 9, OD 9, get ready. If you're going to want to play this, you got to be fast. It's going to start off with pretty easy patterns. It gets faster and heavier, and it's going to get really crazy as it's going to bracket into high speeds. And don't get me wrong, not only is this thing fast, it's going to get dense too. So not only do you have to worry about speed, you're going to have to worry about density as well. And later on, though, the song will get easy. You'll see little bits of simple long notes to the right, basic patterns to the left. Things will get ridiculous. It'll get faster again and then slower. The statistics for this one are 135 all the way up to 227. 225 flat, 227 being its max, with a length of 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So this one should be pretty interesting.
I don't know if this will be a popular one.
Oh, I don't think it's going to be a popular one, just off the fact that you've got a lot of stamina picks already with what we've seen so far. And, like, if this is a first pick, I could see it being a first pick, like, right out of the gate.
Yeah,
but
that's fair enough.
I feel like this one might get avoided more as time goes.
Either picked in the early game or just avoided.
Pretty much. I mean, it's definitely one of them, like, kablow! Right off the bat, but, whew, Jesus. It is not going to be fun.
Definitely it would be fun to watch, though. From a watching perspective, I'd like to see this. Alright, I believe we should be almost ready for the next one.
Yeah, you are correct, Deadbeat, and our next one is going to be Silent Desert. Now, this is an evening beat map, and this is classified as a long note type. This is actually a cut from the longer map, if I'm not mistaken. That being said, structured as such, it is really easier to read. The difficulty of the reading of the long notes is similar to that of some of the semi-final maps that we saw today. The main difficulty from this one comes from releasing the long notes at the appropriate timing windows. This difficulty will increase closer to the end of the map as well, where the long note ends become much more difficult to time, along with, long note starts. Now, on Score V1, this would be classified under the easiest long note pick due to the simplicity of the patterns in general, barring the long note ends. But seeing as this is Score V2, guys, it's not going to be your friend. About 30% into the map, there'll be a 393 BPM short burst of long note streams. Though it is 393 BPM, it's pretty easy relative to the rest of the map. And we haven't even got to the hard part yet. The difficulty, as mentioned, comes from a lot of the long note releases, and it becomes quite apparent as we get to inverse long note selections. Now, during the 70% mark of this bad boy, there's much more inverses, streaming at high speeds of 262 and occasional 393s. At the 85% mark, you thought that was hard? Well, you're right, but it gets a whole lot harder, like fresh breadsticks. Yeah, I went there. 393 inverses. It's pretty self-explanatory, but did I mention the 524 BPM streams too? Because there's a whole lot of that with 393 to 262 BPM polyrhythms as well. And the rest of it kind of just speaks for itself. This one is a 3-minute long, 262 BPM bass.
I wonder if this one might get picked up a bit, actually. I mean, you kind of said that it's a lot harder to play with this Score V2, but I still feel like there might be people who want to play this one. What do you think?
It could be very possible. I mean, with it being a long note type, I feel like the long note eccentric teams are definitely going to jump on that and be able to capitalize on it. And, being able to capitalize on long note picks is definitely going to be something you want to do.
There are definitely some interesting pairs in here that I do quite like, though. But yeah, I'm hoping we'll see more of this one next weekend. I think especially when compared to the other ones, this doesn't look too bad. You want to know the map list? Map list for the finals map pool will be available tomorrow, I guess?
Yeah. Alright, and we're going to be getting into our next one here, guys. The next one we're going to be going over is Floating Point, and this is a Drum Corps remix, map by Underjoy. This is a technical hybrid with Jax. So, yeah, Jax. This also has SVs, which can possibly trip you up, just not as many as you want, so we really can't classify it as an SV map. So to start off with Jax that are relatively easy, but they switch columns. That's why it makes it a little bit more easier. Moving on, you'll also see in the first Kai section, it has long Jax, which lasts quite a while. 1.5 seconds at least, which, you know, doesn't sound like a lot, but it gets pretty ridiculous, and stamina-wise, it can drain you. Then it will build up to the next section with some 140 BPM chord streaming, and about the 40% mark is where it gets really chaotic. We see a lot of mini chord jacks, 1/16 bursts, and SVs that can mess you up very easily, with 1/6 210 BPM chord streaming coming right after. Long notes are pretty simple with this one, but you got to be careful nonetheless, or serious score can be missed. At the 60% mark, we're still getting intense, but it's kind of cooling down a little bit. You'll start to see single jacks and one long note holds on one column at a time. It'll tamper off, but it'll build up again. 70% mark of the map, same as the 40% mark. You'll see it building up to the hardest part, which is at the 80% mark. This part uses 1/8 notes, and you'll have to go through 280 BPM chord streaming, which means you'll have to be fast. And even though this only lasts for 8 seconds, it's going to be the fastest 8 seconds of your life. And it's a huge spike compared to the rest of the map. This one's only a BPM of 140 with a length of 3 minutes and 20 seconds, but with all the 1/6 and 1/8 that you'll see all over in this thing, it is not going to feel like your typical 140 map.
Given how fast and dense some parts of the map were, I actually thought it was a speed pick at one point. I'm also wondering if we'll actually see this at all next weekend. I mean, this weekend we only saw one technical map, and that's because 10 kind of just like heavily hinted towards it. It's not looking very good. Yeah, what do you think? Do you reckon this could be a potential for next weekend?
It is possible. I mean, a lot of these maps I feel like are going to definitely be avoided by some of the lower end players, but I've yet to see something that I don't think South Korea wouldn't try to play. So, like, going into that, I don't feel that any of these map pools are really going to, well, any of these map selections so far are really going to hurt anything.
I think at this point that like South Korea can pick whatever they want.
All right, and we'll be getting into the next one here, which is Cloud, and this one is the nerfed difficulty. Now this is an SV type map. You might have noticed, why is the diff called nerfed? Well, yeah, it's nerfed because it was nearly unpassable beforehand. Welcome to the Mania World Cup 7 key, ladies and gentlemen. That's how it's going to go. Pattern-wise, though, this is the second easiest map in the map pool after Demons. And similarly, most of the difficulty here is going to be in the SVs. You can possibly pass this on sight read, but you should... Oh, wait, no. If you can pass this, you need to stop lying if you're sight reading, because it's not passable. The map's actually going to start out with some mild stutters and pretty confusing rhythms that can already throw people off. But that's just the easy part of the intro. Then after a relatively tricky long note section with sparse speeds up and SVs hidden with mini jacks, comes the main part of the map. The section from this is going to be 1/3 of the map, and about halfway the point of here, you start to get to irregular rhythm chords with mini jacks and near teleport SVs designed to make the map almost unreadable. The SV
This part of me.
the SV strength.
Cool.
Yeah. The SV strength and density here on this one is going to really push players and really give them a run for their money, in my opinion. The next section will be a cooldown after that, so there is a little bit of leniency here. You'll get a little bit of a relaxing break. And, like, to be honest, it'll go through with normal stuff, but after a while, we'll get to the fun part of the map. There are 4 sections, and each one consists of a pattern being shown statically for 1.5 seconds before being played at a very low scroll speed with stuttering. It's essential that players learn 2 things here: the time frame between the last note of the previous section and the next one, which is exactly 1 measure. And I took too long talking about the map. The BPM's 143 and 141. It was way too much stuff. So we will be moving on to the next one. I had a lot to say about that one. The next one here is going to be Angelic Party, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm sorry if I'm a little bit behind here. We'll go ahead and try to speed this one up. This is a consistency hybrid pick. It's one of the more stamina draining maps of the entire pool. There's a lot of simpler patterning in the intro, similar to the structure of most maps, but the difficulty will increase as it goes on. The statistics for this one are 191 with a length of 4 minutes and 6 seconds. In the first chorus, you'll see long note complexity ramp up. In the second chorus, you'll see some 1/6 kicking in here and there. In the third chorus, the long note complexity ramps up to the maximum. We'll start to see shields, more long note overlaps, making it really hard to control, and even more inverses. Woohoo! Everything here is a little bit too complex and fast, but, you know, if you're good enough, you'll be fine, but a lot of people will be saying rip stamina for this one, I believe.
I'm just having a look at this, and I think we could probably see a bit of this next weekend. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. You know, I definitely think we could probably see quite a bit of this next weekend.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a first or a second pick.
For sure. I mean, this one's going to be pretty fun. It is HP 8, so it is kind of easy to combo bake, rush, and then die. So let's hope we don't see that too much.
We want to see people failing this. But I mean, since this is a consistency pick, I mean, it might very well be a first pick for some teams like South Korea. It's gonna be fun seeing how this plays out next weekend.
Yeah, it should be pretty interesting.
Very interesting indeed, but we also have to consider the fact that we've still got quite a bit of the Mappools to go, and there might very well be something else that the players want to pick. I think this is the 8th. Yeah, this is the 8th map.
Yep, we got 16 of them this time.
Yep, so we're halfway.
Yeah. Probably gonna let you guys enjoy the music on some of these here. We'll go over the main things that need to be gone over, of course. But kind of give you guys a little bit of chance. So we'll generalize these a little bit more. The next one we're going to go over is When Got a Girl. This is a consistency type pick. And if you don't have stamina, hoo boy, you came to the wrong place because you're going to need it. We open up with some really sparse, layered, heavy chording, turning into a full, dense chord stream pattern. And that's just the intro, folks. At 12%, you'll have a lot of 4-note chords all connected to each other, which get absolutely crazy. About a quarter way into the map, there'll be heavy chord streaming throughout, 400 BPM dense sections with 1/4 streams, much wow. You'll also see some stuff like about 39% into the map, getting closer to the halfway mark. You'll see 200 BPM bracketing, and oh man, will the drain make you feel like you just want to climb into a closet and never come out. You'll also have 1/6 300 BPM streaming, and if you're not strained yet, you're probably going to be feeling pretty strained at that point. But don't worry, because at the 40% mark, you're going to get a little break, and then you'll find another strong opening at the 50% mark. This one's going to be at 200 BPM with a length of 4 minutes and 4 seconds. So go ahead and just enjoy the rest of this song while we get ready for the next one.
Enjoy it now because you're not going to see it next weekend.
Yeah, you're not going to see it next weekend. I don't think you will.
There's no way people are going to want to pick a 4-minute map that's just this.
Stamina!
Dematory.
If you ain't got it, you ain't gonna get it.
Yeah, like I will be surprised if we see this next weekend. Oh man, we could make this the punishment pick if teams take too long to pick a map.
Yeah, that would go over perfectly well.
Like, no one would go over the 3-minute mark. The more I look at this, the more I doubt we're gonna see this.
I don't know. It's anybody's game, man. It could literally be anyone here. Like, we do have some high-end teams. I don't think you're giving the high-end teams enough credit on what's capable. And this kind of stuff is just, like, fun fodder for them.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's not a matter of if they're capable of playing it. It's a matter of do they want to play it.
True, but they're gonna have to play some. I mean, they can't just ban out the entire map pool too hard. Please nerf.
What would you even play at that point? It's like, we have no map pool. We'll make our own. What do you think? Do you reckon this will be a pretty heavily banned map next weekend, or do you reckon we might actually see this? I'm kind of interested to see what you guys think about When God Go. Alright, and it looks like next after When God Go, we will be having imprinting from the looks of it, which will be the impression difficulty. So this is, as you can probably see, a long note map, so it should be a pretty good one. And hopefully one we will be seeing next weekend. So it starts off with some pretty simple porting. And nothing too complex, but it does get a little bit hard as we go on. I guess about when we get to the 40% mark is where things start to get a little crazy. Kind of like that, yeah. I think this looks like the more tame, chill, long note map. I say as it gets incredibly dense. I have a feeling this might be a common pickup next weekend. Definitely something that doesn't seem too bad once you get past the SVs. Please tell me you saw that. I'll do this, yes. Whoa! And the last slide has just disappeared. Alright, well up next we have Perpetual Mobile. And this is gonna be one of the fast maps of the map pool. And oh boy, this is a fast one. Yes, this is gonna start off with 233 BPM chord streaming. So you can have fun with that. Because I know I won't be having fun with that at all. It'll definitely be fun to watch though, that's for sure. We're lucky, we only have to watch this. I mean, I don't think I'd want to play something like this. It's just a little outside of my comfort zone.
A little outside. It's not even on your comfort radar. You get destroyed. So would I. Like, don't even sit there and say we couldn't. We'd be.
Get on now. We do this.
We get Shrek. Anyways, yeah, this one is absolutely crazy. More of a classical song approach, so you know you're going to see a lot of different types of chord streamings. We'll see a lot of stuff that goes into the 242 mark. This is a 7-key. Now, it gets absolutely ridiculous. This thing goes from 210 to 260, 236 flat, and it's only 2 minutes and 44 seconds, so you're going to have a lot of density coming in here in a very short amount of time. I think Deadbeat died.
Hello. Oh, it's just reading some backlog, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. And just in case, guys, if anyone points out, there is a 7-key chord on the very end that has been fixed up beforehand. The recording was done a little bit. Since 7-key chords breaks rules, we had to re-upload it to fix it. The replay is just an outdated map, and we accidentally screwed up there, but we got it fixed.
Wheel. Like, I've already seen all these before, and I'm still just
watching it and going, I have no idea how that's going to work.
Yeah. I'll let the pros figure that one out.
All right. And we will be moving on to our next pick, which I'm pretty excited about. We're going to be looking at a Helpline map. It's Memoria Reborn. And this is a technical long note pick, guys. To start, it has 200 BPM chord streaming with some long notes in between, getting denser as time goes on, using those 1/4 long notes being used in the chord streams. Um, Going further on from that, you'll see full 5-note chords. 3 of those notes are 1/4 long notes, and then some of the chords have short pauses in between those sets, building up to a complete stream with heavy chording. There are some calm parts in this one, allowing a little bit of a break with some simple 1/4 long note usage. It gets a little complex in the middle of it, building up again till we get to the Kai section, which is turning hard, so very hard. In all honesty, the hardest part of the song. It's basically a 200 BPM double streaming with long notes section, and these patterns can create brackets which are hard to do and very hard to mess with beginning with. It'll taper off to a full dense chord stream section near the end of this first half, and if you have no stamina, you have no life, and you will be a very sad person. The second Kai part is basically pretty much the same, except the long notes get a little bit more complex. It's like part 2 of a movie. This time the patterns get a little bit lighter near the end of this Kai, but this part's nearly the same as the 5-note chord section as well. The BPM on this one is going to be 200 flat with a length of 3 minutes and 52 seconds, and it is absolutely going to be a blast for everyone. Just for everyone. Everyone's going to have a good time.
This might show up next weekend.
Oh, it's a Helpline map. It should show up next weekend.
I really hope it does. We need more Helpline most. That means that some parts of this map do look rather cruel. I'm thinking the teams might actually opt for some other maps first before this one.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm personally feeling like Cloud is going to get banned a lot. This one, maybe. I just don't see it being that big of a ban.
No, I think teams will probably use their ban for other maps that are a lot more annoying than this one. Alrighty. With that, we should begin on to the next map very shortly.
Yep. And speaking of maps that we kind of saw unknowingly here, this next one is going to be Dans Le Mar de Sun, and we actually saw this one today as a warm-up. So this one is a technical SV mixed type, so this one's all over the place. And we did see this one quite a bit. We saw slow jams on it. We saw lots of jumpy jumps on chords, 1/4 long note chords as well. About 16% in, we saw that slow jam and chord stream that really tripped up a few of the players. We also will see 18% in, five note chords. But this part's pretty erratic near that section, so those are things that we will see. But this is a pretty decent map here. We've already kind of seen this one in play. Everything gets a little bit ridiculous. If you manage to get through all these long notes and SVs, though, you will have been able to pass. And this one is a long one, clocking in at 5 minutes and 39 seconds with a BPM of 175. Around the 50% mark, you'll see that we get easy long note walls with 1/8 long notes in there as well. And wrapping up around near the end, around the 82% mark in the song, you'll see long note orientated versions of the previous patterns, but no SD jumps. And that will make things a little bit easier. And if you manage to get through all of this, you are pretty much, give yourself a pat on the back, because you just went awesome man mode.
I will admit, like, the first time we saw, I think it was like the Camilla song, I was like, oh hey, this is actually part of the Mappools. And then I saw this one pop up as another warm-up and I just lost it.
Yeah, I mean, it actually makes sense as to why we saw the players tanking a little bit harder on this map than I was giving credit for. I didn't know it was going to be a final map pick, and with it being in the final map pool, now I feel kind of bad thinking, well, why are these players doing so bad? But definitely a little bit harder than I thought.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, even if it wasn't a finals map pool, a lot of the stuff that people play for once is just really hard in general. I cannot wait to see. I'm really hoping we see this next weekend. I'm kind of hoping that we don't see this one just axed or unpicked. Because, it would kind of suck if we don't get to see this at least once.
Well, technically, we saw it twice now in the map pool showcase and in a warm-up.
Here's the problem. You know there's a problem in the map pool if the map appears more in the previous rounds than it did in the round it's supposed to be played.
That's true.
Like, and I don't think the map pool showcase counts at all. So it's been played once in the semi-finals. So if it doesn't get played at all in the finals, I'm gonna have to see the humor in that.
Oh, I think I'm gonna let you grab the next couple ones, Deadbeat. Oh man. I am looking at what we have coming up in store, and it is absolutely scary.
Yeah, it is fun stuff, I suppose you could call it.
Oh, the funnest.
Again, though, it always comes down to who's the one having the fun. And 9 times out of 10, it's not the player. It does kind of worry me how long this map is, though. Yeah, I'm not sure how many people want to get to play a 6.5 minute technical map.
Is it 6.5 minutes?
About that, yeah.
I thought it was 5:39. Oh god, and the next couple.
Oh yeah, it's 5:39, okay, so yeah.
Yeah, if you didn't like long maps, well, get ready to be disappointed. All right, I'll give a little bit of an intro to this one, and then I'll let you take it away here, because this one's a Long Boy 2. It looks like we're going into Dreaming Attraction next. This is a speed consistency type, and it has a light and easy intro. The overall BPM for it is going to be 205, and the length to this beautiful bad boy is 4 minutes 30 seconds. I'll let you go into some of the patterns, Deadbeat, as I am going to get water, because we're going to need it.
Sounds like a plan. So, yeah, I mean, this is a pretty simple speed consistency map. Nothing technical, no air speeds, but it does look like there's going to be some fun chord streams at about 205 BPM, which that should be fun for quite a few people, and then again about 30% into the map as well, so a bit of chord streaming throughout the map should be pretty fun for quite a few of these players. So at about 40% after we've finished the first chorus, there'll be a few breaks for players to kind of like sit back and like recover some stamina. But like once we get to like the 50, like once we get to about halfway, we're gonna have like an actual proper break in a mania map, which is very rare, unusual just occurrence in a mania map. Like I don't really ever see breaks. So I'm quite looking forward to seeing how this break turns out. All I can say though is after the break the map does get a little bit more rude. Because we're gonna oh yeah, here's a break. What do you know? This feels so unnatural. I don't like it. But yeah, we're going to see a lot more chord streaming from here on out, which should be good fun with brackets and anchors, so I am sure the players will thoroughly enjoy that. And then as we start getting closer to the end, we're going to run into some 1/4 streams and some 1/4 jacks, so this should definitely challenge a good few amount of the players. I feel like this is something that we could also potentially see next weekend. I'd be surprised if we don't see it once. I think some of the stronger teams like China or the United States might want to pick it. Korea might want to pick it as well. But yeah, there is a bit of... I think once you get past the chord streaming, it's not too bad. I think that's the big key factor in getting past this map. But with that, we have 2 more maps left, I believe.
All right, and it looks like we're going to go ahead and get to our next one, and our next one here is going to be Peacebreaker, correct?
Correct.
All right, and Peacebreaker again for the MWC. It was a tiebreaker for the 4-key in 2015, and it's arguably one of the more stamina draining picks for the pool, as if stamina wasn't being tested enough already. Now, starting out immediately, you're going to see like up to 640 BPM 1/4 bursts. That's going to be absolutely crazy. And the patterns in the intros are going to include heaps of graces, polyrhythms into the intro, and rolls varying on snaps of 1/8, 1/12, and 1/16. So, unless you are a god, you are going to have some problems with this one. The first chorus is going to be where it escapes from the easier section. Most of the notes here are going to land on 1/4 and 1/6 polyrhythms. Usually both hands will never be synced on a snap, so it's going to be absolutely crazy there. Around 30% in, you'll also see some crazy stuff. This is supposed to be the break, but Evening decided not to put a break here, so it's just a light 160 chord streaming, so it's like a cooldown more than a break itself. It can kind of function as one if you hit the keys lightly and don't like put too much stamina into it. Around 45%, we get into the real juicy part. The starting chorus with that will have a 1/8 sweep transitioning from a 1/6 to a 1/16 snap, and you'll know where this is going because it's going to be utter chaos, guys. There isn't much technical difficulty here as it stays quite consistent, but the patterns are going to be classified under rolling. Now, this one is going to have a BPM of 160 and a length of 4 minutes and 47 seconds. At the 60% mark, there are no breaks in this, so it's just not necessary. Evening's like, nope, no breaks in Mania, don't need it. It will be a little bit easier and used as another cooldown section. So this one's going to be absolutely ridiculous. I hope to see it at least once or twice, but you never know here. But Peacebreaker is a nice way to go over the last map of the pool before our coveted tiebreaker that we'll be going over in just a moment.
I wonder what it could be. Whatever could the tiebreaker be?
Only time will tell.
I'm trying to think when of us will tell.
Well, yeah, obviously. And without any further delay, folks, we are going to get into the tiebreaker for the finals. And as you might have guessed, it is going to be a Camellia song. It's the Fastest Crash. And this is a tiebreaker, obviously. So you can get into all kinds of speculation on how screwed everyone is if they have to play this one. This thing is chock to the brim, full of SVs, long notes, bursts, and mostly all patterns. And the opening of this is going to be 1/2 long note chords, and then, but suddenly, boom, 112, 630 BPM sweeps everywhere. They're going to be along with a little bit of long notes as well. 8% into the map, we will start to see easy streams with a 1/2 long note and SV patterns building up to the deliciousness that is our 12% mark. You're going to see lots of chord streaming here and there, SVs to catch players off to and fro. If you don't put time investments into this, you are going to get destroyed. At the 19% mark, same as above, mostly there's going to be crazy long notes to focus on vocals and synths, and everything's going to get absolutely just retarded. We'll get into the 33% mark, and you know that 630 BPM that you love so much, it's going to be there quite a bit more. And then you'll also see 1/8s that get into the 420 BPM mark. So it's going to get absolutely ridiculous, dudes. And it ain't going to get any better than that. This one is a short but sweet map with a BPM of 210 with a length of only 4 minutes. Well, 3 minutes 59 seconds clocking in fully. And that is going to be our tiebreaker. It is absolutely ridiculous. Anyways, though, with that being said, I do want to go ahead and get some shout outs for our map selectors here. As some last words from the map pickers, they'd love to shout out a few things, and to the people that have helped them tremendously during this World Cup. Their corporation has been fantastic, and without them, they would have had a much harder time with this tourney, especially with showcases. So for the contributed players that helped us out with these Mappools showcases, in that we have Ator98, which volunteered to help us with gathering replays, such a big hand in picking maps for the last 2 stages via testing the maps they sent. He helped the most with the showcases, delivering 18 replays for 3 out of the 4 pools. So definitely massive shout out to you, man. We appreciate it completely. Our next shout out goes to Pope Gadget. He was in contact with Kamikaze from the very beginning, and he created a lot and fine-tuned the demands that they were looking for a total of 4 maps to this World Cup. He has helped out a lot since he was charting very specific maps that are pretty rare to find, and was a great help. He also helped a lot in picking one of the final SV maps, which he was even dedicated enough to grind through it and give us a great replay. So super shouts out to Pope Gadget. Our next shout out goes to Zero Calamity. He was there helping Kamikaze a lot on the 4K MWC with replays, but here in 7K, he took the worst role as an SV chart player and did a great job at it. He gave a total of 4 replays, but those replays included Move Real Slow from the quarterfinals, No Money Down from the semis, and lastly, he was crazy enough to spend 2 hours straight to learn memorization sections of Monotune. For our next shout out, it goes to LS Lucas XL. After his team unfortunately got eliminated in the group stage, Lucas went ahead and volunteered to help out on the replays for the last 2 stages. He was very reliable and submitted amazing scores for Sakura Sweets and Swamp Things for the semis, and also 5 replays for the final Mappools showcase as well. And then we give out shoutouts to Seal, who unprompted created 2 masterpiece level SV charts for this World Cup. No Money Down for the semis and Cloud for the finals. So a very huge thank you to all those people, and super thank you to Seal for giving us some excellent maps for the finals map pool. With that being said, guys, that was our final Mappools showcase, and that will be also used in the grand finals as well. We hope you really appreciated the amount of blood, sweat, and tears that went into this one. Huge shout outs to the Mappool creators for going above and beyond and making sure that we had one of the most detailed map pools and the most information on a map pool that we've had. That being said, guys, definitely be around next week for the start of the finals. Things are going to really heat up. And with a big hug and thank you from everyone here at OS Live, remember, rhythm is only a click away, and we'll see you next weekend.